Hello Internet, and welcome back to my Sky Island playthrough. In the last episode, we came back from an expedition holding a nice big solar panel in our hands, so we were able to set up a second solar panel at our base. This is not really something we need exactly at this moment. We don't have a lot of power draw going on currently, but it is something we'll want for the future. And then we spent the rest of the episode basically just doing what we had to do in order to get a well on the island. We did bump into a bit of a wall in that we require fabrication 5 in order to add a bucket to the well and to craft that bucket itself, so I'm not sure if we ever did that in the last episode, so that's something we're going to take care of today. Actually, as I'm speaking, it looks like we do have a bucket, so that's not going to be an issue. We'll get this taken care of here in this episode. And for now, let's just say we're back. So it looks like we made a bucket or something in the last episode. I'm not sure where this metal bucket came from because we were going to make a wooden one, so I don't remember doing that. I even literally was just editing this last episode, so you think I would remember that, but I don't. So anyway, we have a bucket. Can we make a covered well, or do we have to do something else for this? I thought it required fabrication 5. How do we scroll this down? Scroll down, water pump, no, not that one. The wooden well requires survival 4, fabrication 4. We need cordage and some planks. Well, what did we need fab 5 for? I thought that was the bucket. Oh wait, that's right. We looked on HHG for the wooden bucket. The wooden bucket required fab 5, but we had enough metal materials in order to make the metal bucket. Okay. All right, so we have the bucket. All we need is some other materials. You can't construct in the dark, so we're not going to be doing this. However, we do want fabrication 5 for the rock forge. We search for not the rick. We're going to rickroll the forge here. We're going to look for a rock forge. Requires 40 rocks and fabrication 5. So we do still want fab 5, and it said 19 rocks, but I'm pretty sure we have more downstairs as well. So I guess we're going to raise our fabrication. We're not tired. It is 9 p.m. We've got really nothing going on. We're a little peckish. Why don't we eat something? Actually, have we sorted our loot from the last expedition? Let's make sure we've done that. Sort out my loot. We did not. So we sorted out every item possible. So we'll head downstairs. We'll check our food pile and see what we've got. I think I put the food pile down in the corner here. Apple cider. No, this is our beverage pile. Where is my food? I want some food. Okay, to the north here. So let's pop up to our food pile. We'll stand next to it where everything else is out of the way. Apparently we sorted earthworms into this pile. We're not going to be eating those as we discussed previously. It looks like the stuff that's going to rot is like flour tortillas and tomato. We're probably not going to eat those. I guess we can down the tomato. It's something. Little vitamin C. How are we doing on vitamins? Vitamin C plenty, iron some, calcium little. So we need some calcium and we need some iron. We probably should just take a multivitamin, but I don't think we've been picking those up as much as we should have been. So we search for vitamin. Oh no, we have 67. We're good. So we're going to eat probably 2 multivitamins. That should take care of our vitamin needs for the time being. And that'll be good for when we go to sleep. We'll have all the vitamins that we need. And we can just down the tomato because it's going to go bad in like a day. We're never going to eat all this butter. Flour tortillas are disgusting. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that's like super perishable. I think we'll make some meat sandwiches out of these cracklins would be my plan here, because they do go bad pretty quickly. They are very calorie dense because it's just a hunk of fried fat basically. I see they only have 270 calories. I thought they were more than that, but that might be a component, like a results thing. So like a chunk of fat has a lot of calories, but when you make cracklins, it probably makes multiple out of one chunk of fat. So it makes 7 of them out of one chunk of fat. Yeah, that explains. Or 2, just one chunk of fat. So that explains why they're such low calories. But we can use those to make meat sandwiches, I believe, and that will use up that bread component as well. So we have a look at meat sandwich. Can you use cracklins? You can. So let's make a meat sandwich here, and we will use those flour tortillas. So I mentioned in a previous episode that I was having a colonoscopy, and prior to that, which I've had by the way, and so far everything looks normal. We're waiting for some biopsies, and there's like some minor stuff it's like they didn't find anything terrible, but they did find stuff that's like indicative that there is a problem. So we don't know what that problem is. Hopefully the biopsy shed some light on that. I'll probably talk about this more in the future. But anyway, during the colonoscopy, 3 days prior, they're like, hey, stop eating basically any fiber, no beans, nothing with seeds, nothing that's like no vegetables, none of that stuff. And on like no grains, like no oatmeal, none of that stuff. But you are allowed very processed flour Do we want to eat both of these? We might as well just eat both of these, and we'll have a sip of clean water. We are getting our water situation sorted with the well, so we should have an infinite source of water in the near future. And then let's grab a book here for fabrication. So prior, they're like, hey, you can't eat a lot of stuff, and one of the things that you are allowed to eat is like super processed flour. So they're like, hey, it's okay if you want to eat like really processed white flour materials, like a white flour tortilla is okay. And they're like, okay, meat products are also okay. So basically for like 2 days, all I ate was plain grilled chicken on a flour tortilla with no sauce or anything. And just in case you can't imagine how terrible that is, it's really terrible. It was a really unpleasant, like, it's disgusting. Flour tortilla. Why do flour tortillas even exist? Just buy corn tortillas. They're so much better. Like, cornmeal is so much better than super processed flour. Okay, so we read our books here just to get the recipes and things that we would have available here. I'm not sure what hot rod is. Why is this not have any? It's just a magazine, so no recipes, but it does raise our driving skill, which we don't care about at all. Excuse me, I've been very hoarse lately as well. So yeah, I'm a strong advocate of corn tortillas and how flour tortillas are absolutely disgusting. I ate them for like 2 days and it was awful. So let's go into the read menu here. It's going to be too dark to read here probably, but we want something that can raise our fabrication to 5. So we have Artillery of the Ancients raises it to 4, but it takes an hour per chapter, which is really brutal. And remember that I don't know, it might be, so I don't know the meta currently. I don't know if it's faster to read a book to level 5 and then craft raise and get that skill boost so that you raise that skill even faster, or if it's better to just start crafting and it would be faster than reading these books. Because here, let's say we only had the DIY compendium, it takes almost 2 hours to read a chapter of this book, which means it's a very slow theoretical skill gain, as opposed to something that takes like 28 minutes here. You'll see this would be much faster to raise our piercing weapons here. So if it takes so long to read a chapter, it would take us a really long time to get to Fab 5 theoretical. Would it just be faster to just craft raise to level 5? I don't actually know the answer to that. But we thankfully do have Artillery of the Ancients, which is only a 1 hour read time and would be better. We do have a book that takes us specifically to 5, but it also takes around 2 hours. Unless we find something else, no, that also takes 2 hours. So it looks like we're going to be reading Artillery of the Ancients. What sort of recipes do you even have? Do you have the catapult recipe? I don't see. Okay, yeah, ballista bolt and caro ballista. So it is the ballista. I didn't mean catapult, I meant ballista, but yeah, so we'll grab that, we'll read that, and we will stop that immediately just so we're not reading in dim light. And let's check our focus before we start reading so we can hopefully get a little bit of a focus boost here. We have a focus of 57 currently. Focus trends towards 102. We're gonna have a beer probably. We'll boost our mood, and then we'll put in our earbuds. Do I have the MP3 in our inventory? We do, and it's pretty charged. So let's just grab, I don't know, let's pop a beer here. We've been drinking a fair bit. I don't know how alcohol addiction works in this game, but it seems unlikely we would get alcohol addiction. Yeah, so you can see here we had a pale ale earlier. That's why the joy is currently only 12 instead of 14, but that's okay. So what's the best boost here is the Riesling, which is 15 boost. So we'll have a sip of wine. I believe Riesling is wine. Is that not? That should be correct. And then I wish there was a way to sort this menu by joy, but I don't believe that there is. So plus 20 from Toastums is pretty good. Anything else that's super high? Didn't we get like pudding? That was plus 15. No, just the Toastums. Why are these Toastums worse than the other Toastums? Dry toaster pastry coated in solid frosting. This one is blueberry, and then this one is strawberry. So I'm guessing one of these is the base item and one of them uses snippets. So if we open the, remember we've talked about this a lot with my clothing changes and stuff, but if we open debug and we search for Toastum, so if we have a look here, yeah, this one is the base item. It just says coated with solid frosting, and it says this one is not. So this is the non-frosted variety. And then this one, as we move, nope, this one is the mandatory blueberry flavor, so no snippets there. If we go down, this one is also strawberry. So no, they don't have snippets. But anyway, that's why they're separated. One is blueberry, one is strawberry, and for some reason they have different joys. So it looks like blueberry is 5 less morale than the strawberry. So we'll eat a strawberry, toast them, fantastic. And then why don't we down something else just for a little bit extra. We don't really need more calories. We'll have a pickle for a little extra, and we're turgid, but we're not like stuffed or anything. So why don't we just grab like another like +5 chili con carne. No, I'm not opening a can just to do that. Anything else? Strawberry toaster pastry is a +4. I don't know that we need all that sugar. I mean, it's weird. In my head, I'm like, I don't need all this sugar, but of course it's just a video game where sugar does not really matter. So that's fine. Let's pop on our music and start reading. Yeah, my life has been dominated by that colonoscopy all last week. It took up like my whole week trying to get things situated for work and then having the actual procedure. If you even call it a procedure, I don't know what you call it. Man, I wish we had an armchair to sit in. Can we craft an armchair? I'm like a squirrel. I've got my attention all over the place. So we can place an armchair, but we can't craft one. Armchair. Let's just search arm and chair. Actually, let's just search for chair. Maybe there's any kind of chair we could make. Recipes related to constructing chairs. Deck chair, wooden chair, black wooden chair. Do we need to paint them? What is the distinction between, okay, desk chair, wooden chair, wheelchair wheels, wooden chair, wooden chair. Okay, so there's only like 4 chairs and it looks like we can't craft an armchair. Requires short wooden posts we don't have, wooden posts we don't have, and these are just wooden chairs that you then paint. Deck chair requires wooden posts, so everything requires wooden posts, which is pretty strange because these short wooden posts are more like fence posting. They're not like small chair posts like that, like for like chair legs. It's not really meant for that. It's more like a giant 4x4. So I'm not sure why these are requirements. I find that very strange. Someone should look at these recipes. Didn't I add? I thought I added a chair. What did I? No, I added a toilet. Oh, it's not even on this save. That's right. It's in my mod file still. Yeah, I added a portable toilet recipe. It doesn't matter anyway. So let's just start reading here to raise our fabrication. We're just going to read until we gain, theoretical 5. Yeah, the colonoscopy, man. I don't know. Everyone talks about how bad the prep is. So if you don't know, a colonoscopy, you take like, it was 4 bottles of Propel. So it was like 36. Wait, no, I can't do math. Hold on. How many bottles is this? Okay, it was 4 bottles of this. And these are 16 liters each. Or I'm sorry, yeah, 16 liters. It's 1.05 pints or 16.9 fluid ounces. So it was 64 fluid ounces of Propel. And if you're not familiar with Propel, it's just like a Gatorade. It's like a clear, 0 sugar, 0 calorie water with some salt in it. So you mix that with 32 ounces of laxative, and then you have to drink all of that. And, they're laxatives. So for most people, that's pretty brutal, I guess. But for me, it was not that different from how sick I am usually. So I drank all the laxative and everyone talked about the prep. And the paper they gave me, they were like, hey, whatever stomach problems you have, like whatever your issue is that you're coming to get a colonoscopy for, it's going to be much worse once you take all this laxative. So if you get cramps, you're going to get like the worst cramps you've ever had in your entire life. If you have like hemorrhoids, they're going to be the worst they've ever been. If you have any pain like that, it's going to be the absolute worst it's ever been. And so I was really scared taking all this stuff. I was like, oh, this is going to be like the worst day of my life. And then I took it all and was completely fine. It did not hurt at all. In fact, I felt better having taken all these laxatives. Like, it's hard to explain. So let's look for something before I start rambling. Let's look for something that can raise our fabrication to level 5. Fire piston. What the hell is a fire piston? A fire starting tool, Southeastern Asian origin. It's a thin, hollow wooden cylinder sealed at one end and open at the other. That's really interesting, but it will raise our fabrication to 5, and it seems like something that would only require a little bit of wood. So 1 plank, 50 plant fiber, and unfortunately a can material, which we do have, but I'm not thrilled that it requires something like that. I guess we don't use them for anything else, so is it really a big deal? And unfortunately would use all of our threads. So if we have to craft more than one of these in order to raise the skill, it's going to be a problem. Do we have anything else that's a little easier to make? This is welding. We don't really want to spend our welding materials. Bipod, all this stuff is going to be welding. A metal bolt, that's going to be either welding or a forge, which we don't have. Splintered wood. and clean water to make paper. So it is fabrication 5 typically, so we do have a pretty big failure chance of 51%. Catastrophic, I believe minor fail chance just means it takes longer, and then catastrophic means you could lose materials. So we're not actually going to lose the materials we're crafting with. I don't think we will. So this seems like the best thing because it just uses water and wood, which we, of course, we don't have water like coming in, but again, we're going to make that well in the very near future, so that's not a concern. So let's make some paper, and we will just use like splintered wood because that's going to be the most plentiful thing that we have. And I would expect, our focus is 12. Yeah, reading that book, because it's so boring and the chapters are so long and we read for so long, it really tanked our focus because we were learning all that theoretical stuff. Okay, so we're practical level 4 at 52% and we have a learning bonus of 125%. Why does it say my fab is 5? Oh, that's the theoretical. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do for our morale, and unfortunately we're still not tired. People did tell me like, hey, when you're not tired and you want to sleep, go exercise, but with the sun coming up, it looks like we're going to sleep through most of the day, so we might be stuck in the base for another episode. That's okay. I mean, that's not a big deal, I guess, but since the sun is up, why don't we go set up our well? So let's do our well really quick. Well, we can't build this. Why? Oh, we need our cordage. Wait, do we actually have this cordage? I don't think we do. For some reason, I thought we could use strings for this. I don't know that we have actual ropes, but let's grab the planks, I guess. Oh, you can't carry planks. That's right. So let's pull the planks out. Yeah, what's bizarre, I actually felt better. Like it's weird. So I don't think people understand when you have like a chronic health issue, people assume it's like a flare up. So like people are like, oh, most of the time they're probably healthy. And then when it flares up, things get really bad. And that's true. There are flare ups that make things so much worse. Like when you're, I have flare-ups where I get really, really sick, or if the heat is like draining my body and I'm dehydrated, my physical issues get a lot worse, things like that. It doesn't mean I'm healthy most of the time. In fact, there is a constant like underlying pain in my body. Like I have abdominal cramps every single day of my life. It's just that there are days when it's so severe you just sort of lay on the floor like in the fetal position, like I think that's relatable, right? Most people have had like food poisoning where you just sort of like are so sick you're just curled up like holding your stomach. So like most days I have cramps and it's like very uncomfortable and whatever, but it's like the really bad days are where you really can't function and things are super bad. But when I took all of that stuff, so if we look for rope, we're looking for any kind of cordage here. Actually, we can just search that down here and it will display if we have those items. So if we scroll down, yeah, so even though we're in our area where we have all of our crafting materials, we do not have a rope component here. Oh, that's unfortunate because crafting rope takes forever. Man, what do we do about this? I don't think we can get those from our material tokens. Rope? Yeah, ropes and cordage. This is gonna be a problem. Let's open. Okay, so we can make a short rope. These are made out of long strings, but it takes 2 hours and 26 minutes. Man, it'd just be so much easier to go on an expedition and grab seat belts. Would probably be the way to do this because we can use seat belts and they're much more plentiful and easy to find. But if it puts us in the wilderness, are we really going to clear a town just to get seat belts? And where else do you even get cordage? I mean, you can get vines. No, because even the vines are crafted, right? Like even the long vines are crafted from short vines, and I don't know where you get those exactly. What do we do about this? So long cordage rope, long vine, seat belts, short cordage rope, short ropes, or man, I'm not spending 10 hours crafting short ropes from long strings. What do we do about this? Where do you get rope in this game? You know what? I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look some stuff up. Oh, no, I'm not because my internet's down. Okay, so we're not going to look things up. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, how do you make cordage rope? Short cordage pieces are 8 minutes each. They're made out of straw, tan bark, withered plants. We don't really have a lot of that material. Short rope, we only can make them from long strings. We could make them from patches. That's going to take even longer than the long strings. Oh man, this sucks. You need a spin wheel? I mean, we can't craft an electric piece like that. There's no way. Short strings, Oh, this is brutal. I don't know what you do about this. Obviously, the seatbelts is the way to go. But that'll have to wait till our next expedition. That's unfortunate. I really wanted to get the well up and running in this episode because that was like my current work towards goal. Let's unload this flashlight while we're here as well because our battery's almost dead, and we'll put that in the recharger, which I think automatically turned off when I wasn't using it. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on that. So is this on? No, it is on. That's good. So we'll grab another battery here. We'll just grab a full one. I don't really want to take the disposables and risk running out of them while we're down there and really needing a flashlight. So put in a light battery, that's fine. And I guess we'll just keep crafting. That's a bummer. Let's eat and drink again to try and raise our mood a little bit. Have the other kind of toastum. And then we're not going to drink a beer, but we can have a soda or something that'll give us a little bump. I don't want to keep drinking alcohol in the game. I don't want to end up addicted to alcohol or something. Sure, a cream soda. No, that's liquor again. So we'll have a cream soda and a lemonade. And that's not really going to recover our morale, by the way. It's going to be like just okay. Our focus is going to be bad as long as we keep crafting. We're going to be tired soon and we'll go to bed. So we'll just work on the paper recipe. Practical fabrication 5, that's great. So let's so we now have the ability to make a forge, which is good news. That's construction menu, forge. That's something we were working on. Yeah, all we need is rocks now, which again, in the next expedition, we'll just try not to loot. We will prioritize, like, we'll go down, we'll gather materials. We'll get rocks, we'll get rope, seatbelts, things like that, I think is probably the thing to do. In fact, we could do that right now because we are going to be tired in the next few hours and we might as well like go get something done while we're going out like this. So let's drop our material tokens and stuff so we don't like lose those while we're down on the island. And I'm pretty sure everything else is still set up. We repaired our bat. That's all we really needed to do there. Kevlar vest is a little damaged. It's not even good armor anyway. This stage of the game, we're looking for like something that has more bash protection than what the Kevlar actually does, but it's fine. Yeah, we look good. We're going to go down on an expedition and we're going to focus on material gathering instead of like looting unless we find something really fantastic. And we are going to take the bat because then we can wield something in our hands. We would love a freezer. If we can't get a freezer, we would love a fridge. Got to do something. Our focus is bad. We don't want to keep craft raising and stuff. Let's just go on an expedition, I think. And let's quick save because people keep telling me I should quick save before I go because they bork out sometimes. We'll target a field. Yep. Random key. We are in a burned forest location. Looks like not a mass grave. I thought there was a mass grave over there. Any enemies? A couple animals. Where are we on the map? Ooh, completely unknown location. Okay. So that's new because we previously have been kind of in the same area over and over. Okay. So this is a great expedition to just gather materials because we don't actually know where anything is around us. And it's such a short expedition. We're not going to do too much exploring. Is this a cemetery? It's a rural church, so probably not anything we want there. I do think we need a holy symbol of some kind for crafting one of our upgrades, so we will check on that. But let's hop up a tree. Spotted a black rat. Yeah, I don't really care if you're hostile. Let's drop our backpack. Oh, are you coming to fight me? I think it might actually be coming to fight me. I'm not sure. It's just a mouse. You need a tool to drill. No, I want to climb. There we go. So climbing this tree is going to give us a little bit of an improved vision radius, and you can slip falling down, but let's climb down. Yes. And we did not fall, so that's good. So let's check the map. Looks like a racetrack over here, I believe is what this is. Speedway, yeah, so probably a good chance of a vehicle up there. Not really concerned. Again, I just want to grab some materials and get out of here. Oh wait, no, we need seatbelts. This is very rural and we're cut off from a lot of the map by the river here. So yeah, you know what? Maybe we do go to the Speedway. Just a huge, massive crater over here. Obviously, we're not doing anything with that. I guess we head to the Speedway if we can find some seatbelts. They're going to have welding materials here as well because I believe they have garages. I don't think I've ever seen a vehicle at a Speedway, but it makes sense that they would be in the garage. So we might as well check what we can check. And on the way, we will gather basically just as many rocks as we can so we don't have to use our material tokens to do that for the forge. Yeah, that's the plan. So let's wear our backpack and avoid the rats because I just don't really want to deal with you. You're just annoying. And we'll head up here. Yes, so like there's always a background discomfort. Like always, I have cramps. Always. Like full stop every day, I have cramps. It's just that some days are worse than others, right? There's never a good day where you're completely normal. It's always just less bad, right? And I don't think people understand that. I think they, you hear about people with chronic health issues and they're like, oh, well, they probably are fine most of the time, but then they have a bad day and it's really bad. And it's just, it's not really that way for me. But when I took all this laxative and it completely cleared out my system, I actually had completely like no stomach issues at all. I felt completely healthy. There was no pain. I felt, obviously like my body is empty at that point. So obviously, not having food in your tract is like part of why I would feel that way. But I actually felt so good after being cleaned out like that and having like nothing in my stomach, no cramps, no nothing. It was so bizarre because you get so used to being sick all the time, and then when suddenly there's relief, you're like, holy crap, I did not realize how sick I was for so long until the symptoms went away. And you're like, is this what normal people feel like? Is this like, this is normal? I actually don't hurt at all. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know. It was super weird. And then obviously I had the colonoscopy. That was fine. I mean, I could talk about that for like days, but the problem is as soon as I ate food the next day, I got really sick again. So like the second food got in my body, the cramps were back. I had really bad stomach pain. I was really feeling very sick again. And I didn't even eat very much. So I thought like, well, maybe it's because you eat too much food because you're depressed and you overeat and that kind of stuff. I was like, well, maybe you'll, once you eat a little bit of food again, it won't be so bad because it'll just be like a tiny amount of food. But as soon as I ate anything, I had this little bowl of like green beans and potatoes and a little, like basically just like soup. It was like green beans, potatoes, and a little bit of sausage. And literally like the second, like 30 minutes after I ate, I immediately started having really bad cramps again. And I was like, man, I thought maybe it would be better now. Like maybe I had a blockage or something that cleared out. But no, it came right back, So we have a ferromechanic. We did encounter these guys previously when we explored another speedway. We're at 33 minutes. Yeah, we went to a speedway previously and we encountered some ferromechanics. I believe you're using a wrench, has a blood-covered hammer in his hand. So we will back off. I don't know if they throw rocks. We'll try to fight them on some bad terrain here oh, is there two of you? No, it's a tree, of course. So no tree enemies. Good to know. No Ents coming to fight me. So we're going to hop around this bush. Hopefully that, oh, you do throw rocks. So when an enemy, if you're new or whatever, if a feral is throwing rocks at you, it's better to just go around a corner and face tank it. Like once they come around the corner, just fight them in melee. Doing this where you back off and fight them on bad terrain, it gives them a chance to throw like 2 or 3 rocks at you before they close ground. That's bad. The rocks will deal like consistently like 4 or 5 damage every time it hits you in the chest. They are easily pretty deflected by armor if you have good armor, but we really don't. The Kevlar vest, like I said, doesn't have great bash protection. It's only 4 points of bash protection. Honestly, that's enough for feral rocks. We're only going to take like 1 or 2 damage here, I guess. But it's better to face tank these guys. I should have just fought him around the corner, I guess. That's okay. Yeah, we were hitting the torso for 3 damage. Either that missed our armor or it's 3 damage after negating like 4 damage. So it's not great. Just fight them. I hate fighting in melee like that, just in a stand-up fight, because you don't really have an advantage. But wow, that's super weird. The mechanic was carrying an entire recharging station on him. This would be good to take back to base. Currently, all we have is a battery charger, which is like the lower tier version of a recharging station. But the reality is we don't need a fast recharging station. The battery charger is perfectly fine. It's perfectly adequate. We have enough batteries that it doesn't matter. So not a big deal, and it's going to be too big. We would have to carry it in our hands. I don't know what a transponder circuit is for. Crafting communication, I guess we'll take that as a scrap material. Everything else we don't really need. I guess you can always use an extra hammer. We'll take that. And then I guess we'll take the medium battery. I don't really need that either. I think we have 5 or 6 and we're just never going to go through 5 or 6 of those ever. Can we actually fit the recharging station in the backpack? We can. It's only 5 liters. I just don't need it though, but we don't know. Maybe we'll need it for crafting. I guess we'll take it for now, and we'll take this rock. Thank you for the rocks, Feral. You contributed to my forge making. Yeah, so it's the day after my colonoscopy. I'm feeling sick again. Like, I barely had anything to eat, and I immediately am just sick again with the chronic pain. And and this is a good place, by the way, where we might find a mechanical pump, so we wouldn't need the bucket. We could just use the mechanical pump for the well, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We will take thread cutting set. I don't know if that's needed for forged stuff. I assume it is, so we'll take that. And I don't know that we need an air filter, but we might as well take a lot of this stuff just because we don't have anything else like in our inventory, so we might as well take them. The welding tanks are going to be the big welding tanks. We really don't need them. It's 18 liters. It's very difficult to carry such a large thing. We're looking for the small welding tanks preferably. Take a drive belt. Did we check the tires over here? They're just tires. Okay, that's fine. We don't need another arc welder, but absolutely take every welding rod that we find if we can. So peep the next one. I can't really see. Let's turn on the flashlight. No ferrule this time. And I don't really know what we're looking for. I guess we were looking for seat belts. Seems unlikely we're going to actually find any seat belts here. I thought maybe there'd be a car. It's just not going to happen. Okay, welding and metallurgy we have. Socket screwdriver set, I don't know. And we are going to take the car battery. No, we're not. It's 20 pounds. We're not taking that. Never mind. I was going to say it'd be nice to have a few extra batteries at base, but it doesn't matter. We're not using power right now anyway. I don't know. And they didn't find anything, which is like good news when you get a colonoscopy, right? Nobody wants to hear like, oh yeah, we opened you up and you were full of tumors. Like that's obviously very bad, right? So I'm glad they didn't find anything like that. But there's also a part of me that's like, because they basically the results came back and they were like, hey, you look like pretty normal in there. You have some like redness in your stomach that might be indicative of something. You had a few polyps, but pretty much if you're listening to this and you're like, oh gross, polyps, you have some inside of you. Most people, like the vast majority of people, have 1 to 2 polyps. That's very common. And I had more than that, but it's like not an alarming amount, so it's not like a big deal. But basically they didn't find anything. So like no dead bowel, no perforations, no like damage or anything that would be like super alarming, no tumors, no obvious signs of cancer. And that's good news, right? That you didn't find anything. But part of me is like, I wish you had found something because then I would know what's wrong with me. Like, does that make sense? It's like, obviously it's good news that you don't have like cancer. Also not good news because we still don't know what's wrong with you. Does that make sense? And if we knew what was wrong with you, right, then you can do something. Like when I was having chest pain and they were like, oh, you have an enlarged heart. I was like, oh, good. Thank God. Now I know what's wrong and we can fix it. And then it turned out later, like they were wrong and I don't have an enlarged heart. And then you're like, well, now I don't know what to do because I'm still having chest pains, but I'm not actually like able to, like I can't get on medication if you don't know what's wrong with me. I can't change my life to kind of make things better if I don't know what's going on. And I just wish I had an answer. And we can ignore these zombies, I think. We're not going to bother with the fuel or anything. Obviously, that doesn't really benefit us on the island. We don't really need gasoline. Looks like a panicked person died over here, something like that. Feudal fighter, yeah, it's not gonna, does not matter. Yep, another ferro mechanic. So what we're going to do, we're going to run around the corner. Man, I'm hoarse today. So we're going to run around the corner so that it has to come to us and it's not going to be pelting us with rocks the whole time. Drop the backpack, get into melee. Oh, I have no audio at all. Why don't I have audio? I just realized. Okay, it doesn't matter. Probably because Windows screwed everything up like I mentioned at the top of the episode. Nothing. Camo, bikini bottoms, multimeter. We don't need multi-tool. I think we have like a million multi-tools, but I always just pick them up anyway. Grab that backpack, of course. Feral human might actually see us because their vision radius is like about the same as the player. It is shorter, but it's a bigger radius than what the zombies have typically. Locking pliers. Again, I just don't remember what tools we have. Yeah, I don't know, man. You just want answers. It's like, I just want to know what's going on. I just want to know why I'm sick all the time. And right now we don't. So like they took a bunch of biopsies. So they're like, hey, obviously we'll get back to you with the biopsy results in a few days. They biopsied my stomach because there was like an inflamed area of my stomach. They biopsied multiple parts of my bowels. Obviously the couple of polyps that they took care of, the polyps in there, those will be tested as well just to make sure it's not like some scary thing. But as far as what I've been told, it's like, hey, you look pretty normal. This looks like a normal, healthy bowel. So why am I sick all the time? So now the working theory is that I might have celiacs or some like very powerful allergy like that, but I don't think I have celiacs, which if you don't know is the gluten allergy that like literally can kill you if you have gluten. It literally like is a very, very dangerous, like I know it's very bothersome because it's like a fad for people to complain about gluten, but there are actually people who get very sick when they have gluten. So when people ask like, oh, is this gluten free? People roll their eyes like, oh, you're one of those people who doesn't eat gluten. But the reality is there's like a big part of the population that has like a severe gluten allergy that people aren't understanding about at all, and just sort of roll their eyes like, oh, you're into a fad or whatever. But anyway, I don't think I have celiacs. I think it seems like no matter what I eat, I'm sick all the time. So just no idea what's going on. And the colonoscopy itself was fine, by the way. It's like I had anxiety. I was nervous. It was worrisome, but ultimately nothing went wrong. There was really no issues with it or anything like that. Man, where am I going to get cordage? I guess once we get over to the church here, we can... I don't know, start looking through the woods in the underbrush. Maybe you can find vines. I would assume you can find vines. I never checked the missions, by the way. Kill 50 zombies, not going to happen. Warp evolved horde, not going to happen. Yeah, we're just going to go to extract, I think. Oh, is this even extract, or is this one of the missions that I'm looking at? Let's make sure we're going to the right place here. Exit point. Yeah, that's right. So I guess we'll just forage in the underbrush. I assume you can find vines. Yeah, but it was fine. They did say, they were like, because it took me a while to wake up, and they were like, yeah, we had to like extra sedate you because you kept like resisting. And I didn't remember. Basically for me, they just like, they put in an oxygen tube, and she was like, hey, just take some deep breaths. Like I had an IV, it was IV anesthetic, but in the procedure, they put in like a bite block and stuff because they were going to do an endoscopy, and she put an oxygen tube in so I could breathe through my nose while they were, you know, working in my throat and whatnot. It looks like this church was destroyed by the, oh no, here it is. Okay. I was going to say, it looks like the map gen overlapped and was destroyed. So we'll check out the church. I don't expect to find anything here. But yeah, she was like, you kept resisting. And I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that means I was like fighting them as they were trying to put in the cameras or what. But she was like, yeah, it took you a while to wake up because you kept resisting. So they had to put you a lot deeper into the anesthesia, which is like, I don't really know what that means, but okay. And then too, when I woke up, she was like forcing a drink in my hand. She was like, you need to drink water. You need to drink water. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, you keep saying over and over, I'm so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. And like, I don't remember any of that because I was sedated. But I guess after the procedure, I was like, constantly asking for water. Because you're not allowed to drink before. They're like, hey, 4 hours before you can't even have water, which is like humans need to drink beverages. I don't know. And then, two, she was like, I said, was I saying anything? And she was like, yeah, you kept asking if you were covered up. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you kept asking because you're naked in a gown. And apparently I kept asking, like, please cover me up. I don't want to be naked. Like, can you see me? Like, am I covered up? Over and over and over, which is interesting. I don't really know why, but I guess I was very concerned about people seeing me in a gown. Yeah. And I could talk about this forever. There's like so much stuff that happened that's like nerve-wracking and makes you anxious and all this stuff. Here's a bucket. So we didn't have to craft a bucket for the well, but yeah, I guess, you know what, we'll take it because there is other stuff that we need a bucket for. Like those new water filters require a bucket as well, which is good to have probably. So we checked the kitchen. So just a little basement dining area for the church here. That's kind of nice. Yeah, nothing of value. Obviously, we could steal their brazier. I'm not going to do that. Looks like they have one stained glass window out of the entire church. And it looks like half the church is stone and half of it, I guess the interior walls are just drywall and the exterior is the stone. That makes sense. And we're not going to break their glass windows. Just seems disrespectful to a church to smash their windows. So let's do some underbrush foraging, see if we can find some vines or something. Wild herbs. I mean, you know what? I never forage. Let's have a look at these drop tables. Let's grab some of this stuff and see what's craftable. Let's have a look at component wild herb. Wild herb seeds. We don't need those. I can't imagine we would need those. I assume they can be like boiled into tea. Looks like bird food, spinach casserole, carrots, herbal tea. Yeah. So, oh, okay. So this is the new item that makes herbal tea, or maybe it was always made of wild herbs. I thought it had a different name back when I first started playing. Doesn't matter. So we can make herbal tea. That's nice. So that's probably the main thing we would use that for. Let's just keep foraging. We could turn on auto foraging, but I don't want to end up foraging all the trees and burning a bunch of time, you know, stripping bark off of trees. Wait, didn't we need bark? No, that was for making our own vines, which we didn't really want to do because it was very time consuming. So I don't know. We'll just keep, wait, can we In the auto forage options, can you actually set up so that it only harvests underbrush? Auto features, auto foraging. Yeah, we can. Okay, so auto features on only for, oh, we can't. Bushes, trees, or crops. No, I just wanted underbrush. And I'm assuming that's like bushes or trees. I assume it's under bushes, which would then harvest all the bushes as well, which we don't really care about, like rose hips or anything. So we'll just turn off all this stuff. We'll just do it manually. Not ideal, obviously very slow compared to doing it automatically, but I don't know. It was an ordeal. And then with work, you know, I don't know if I explained it in the last episode, but they were asking like for a week's salary for 1 day of being covered. So I had to find someone myself to cover it and try to like, you know, make all of that work. And it was just, work did not help me at all. They were very much like angry about it. They were like, yeah, we don't actually care. You're contractually obligated to take care of it yourself. And if you don't, we're going to charge you not only a fee, but we're going to charge you for, like, obviously for the person who's covering for you, but we're also going to charge you a fee because you're not fulfilling your contract and, you know, et cetera. And I'm like, I've worked here for 10 years, you know, like I've been here for 10 years and you act like I've never taken a day off. I've never requested a day off. I've never had done this before. And I reached out to my boss like, hey, what do I do? And she responded immediately with like, I don't care. It's your response. It's your job. Like, no matter what happens, I don't care. It's your job to figure it out. And I'm like, oh man, just no help at all. No guidance, no like respect, nothing. It was just made me feel so bad. Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Man, I've been rambling for 49 minutes. Good Lord. Yeah, so hopefully the audio in this episode was okay. I apologize. I think most people aren't even going to notice, but like, yeah, the audio is a little scuffed. Windows resets everything. That's also why I don't have sound, by the way, is because Windows resets every audio setting when it updates, and those updates are manual. You can't ignore them. Man, no vines at all. Can you like strip trees for vines? Hickory tree, this kills the tree. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about the tree's livelihood. Maybe we can strip some of these trees for vines. Willow tree, I mean, that's just going to give me willow bark and maybe branches, right? Can you strip bushes, plants, pick the burdock? You can make burdock tea, right? We'll take burdock. Pick a fern. What did you give last time? Fiddleheads. Yeah, we don't care about those. Those are not. Fiddleheads. Maybe we can smash a bush or no, you can't smash the long grass. Yeah, smash the fiddlehead. Handful of leaves. Yeah, I don't really care about leaves. Groundhog gooses. Oh, just one goose, which would be geese anyway. I can't speak. Smash the brush. Twigs, handfuls of leaves. I mean, we'll take those as well because we might as well. We're not getting anything else out of the expedition. Yeah, no, I don't know where you get vines. You know, hickory tree. No, I don't need more hickory. No. Pine tree, pine boughs, pine cones, and some resin. Yeah, that's more or less what I expected. A basswood or basswood tree. I don't know what that is. Pile of rocky rubble. No. Cottonwood tree ball. Okay. I don't know what half this stuff is. So where do I get vines? This is a little bit of a bust. All I wanted was that cordage. But if we have a look here at the water pump, since we did get a mechanical pump, we could actually do this if we raised our mechanic skill to level 2. This would require pipes in lieu of all that rope, because instead of pulling up a bucket, we're pumping water up to the surface, basically. So I guess we could try to harvest some pipes from that church. Probably has some pipes. We have plenty of time left on the expedition, so I guess we'll go loot a church. That just feels weird saying out loud. I'm not even religious. I don't like, whatever your beliefs are, that's fine, but I'm not religiously affiliated in any way. It's just not my jam. Where do you get vines, man? I don't know. Okay, so let's head down. And again, worst case here, we can grab the fridge as well, which I completely forgot we were supposed to be doing. Would we rather have a fridge or a stove? I think a fridge at this point. Obviously, we can cook on a fire back home, but having a stove that's actually powered by our power system would be easier than starting and stopping fires constantly. But having a fridge that can just like refrigerate, like anything that's cold gives us better morale. When it's cold, anything that's like perishable, this will delay the perishing of that food, things like that. So I think it'd be good to have a fridge. So I think we'll grab that unless there's a freezer around. There's not. So yeah. So let's try deconstructing some of this furniture. See if we can get some pipes out of this. Deconstruct, no, not simple. 3 minutes to take apart this. Does this give pipes? It used to. It does, so we can take 9 pipes. We are very overweight at this point. Let's drop some of the stuff we know we don't need. I forgot to drop the entrenching tool back at base, so we really need to make sure we take that so we don't accidentally lose that. Don't really need a lot of this stuff, so we'll drop the fiddleheads. We'll keep the garlic. I don't really need the leaves, but they're so tiny it doesn't matter. And of course we can drop a few rocks. So we're underweight now. Let's just grab this fridge, deconstruct simple furniture, take the fridge, and then, oh, it has a freezer. Oh, that's so good. Disconnected household freezer, great choice. Choice is misspelled. I'll write that down too. I'll fix that tonight, I guess. Maybe someone else did. Freezer, description, so we'll fix that. Yeah, so we want the freezer. The freezer is much better than having a fridge because it freezes things, which makes them permanently non-perishable as long as it has power, right? It's not going to, man, it's 350 kilos, huh? In what universe is a freeze? So I took apart a fridge, right? There was a fridge standing here and it gave me a freezer and a fridge, which I don't really understand why it gave me both. And combined, these things are 112. Oh no, that's the capacity. Okay. I was looking at the capacity. I was like, why is this thing 350 kilos? But that's the max capacity. So that's the max capacity. So we got like 100 kilos. That makes a lot more sense. So we're going to wield the freezer. Obviously, is like the huge priority here. We're going to take that freezer, store the barbed wire bat in our backpack. If we are able, make sure we didn't drop that. You sheathe your barbed wire bat. Check our stats. We are double our weight limit. You know what? Well, no, we have to pick it up to take it, but we can just drop it for now and haul it. And let's keep the barbed wire bat in our hands just to make sure I don't like drop that for some reason. So for now, we will haul this stuff instead of carrying it. That'll keep our stamina up, and we'll take this to extract and we will extract, and that'll be our run here. So we got the pipes, we got everything we needed for the well. Stop hauling. Anything else I want? We're going to be overweight, but only for a second. You know what? I'm going to go grab those rocks that I dropped. We might as well take them with us. It's not really a big deal. Man, I hate Windows so much. It screws everything up. Ruined my mic, ruined everything. I even reinstalled the mic software to make it work, and it's like, oh yeah, it should work now. And then it says, oh wait, no, Windows screwed it, and for some reason it won't fix itself. So I don't know what to do about that. So let's wield the thing. We'll store the bat. You sheathe your bat. So it is in our inventory, and we are very overweight, but it's only going to be for a second. Head back to the Sky Island. Got 50 material tokens. Fantastic. I really wish one of the vines was like makeable from the tree. Oh, we don't have the tree item. We have the rock one and the metal one. Still though, you would think that the wood source, what's it called? Source? No. Yeah, in fact, looking at the materials, there's actually not much we can get. Even from like the wood one, all it looks like is like some sticks and logs and stuff. So it's not even like a lot of materials. Soil, yeah, we don't want any of this stuff. So that's not super helpful, honestly, but you know, it's something. But let's drop all of our stuff. That freezer is so good. I'm so glad we got a freezer. Wield our bat, so I don't forget about that. Turn off the flashlight that's on for some reason. And we'll just drop all of our stuff here. Yeah, that was a good expedition. We got enough rocks, I think, for the forge. And we have Fab 5 now, which is what is required for us to build the forge. So we check for forge. Some of our rocks might be downstairs, but it looks like we have 24 up here. Yeah, I bet we have enough if we look downstairs. And if not, we could just use those material tokens we just picked up to do that. So we didn't need that bucket. That's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? And we should just be able to craft the well now. If we look down here, we have everything but mechanics 2. Very easy to raise mechanics to level 2. We do have books for that, and we should be able to craft, raise, or start a vehicle construction or something and get that worked out. For now, though, we are at 59 minutes and 27 seconds, so I hope you enjoyed the long episode of me rambling about a colonoscopy. The TLDR is that, you know, I'm doing pretty okay. It went better. You know, there was no obvious, glaring, huge, scary thing that happened. Really, the big news for anyone with these kind of issues is like, well, it doesn't look like I have cancer, which is like the big fear, right? They didn't open me up and find a million tumors. That's good news. So, but for now, everyone, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. In the next episode, we're going to get this well taken care of. We're going to probably raise our mechanic skill. We're probably going to do a whole bunch of stuff. So everyone, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.